Libra, contentment leading to self-composure. Hello everyone, welcome again to this month's virtue practice, where we're trying to find a way of working our will into these deeds of love. And again, we're turning our attention to a capacity that is not always easy to find a practice to. Contentment. What would be a will practice for contentment? This may be an interesting contemplation for each of us, because we are at the stage of the spiritual year where we celebrate Michaelmas. And with Michaelmas, celebrated on the 29th of December, it obviously carries through a cycle of time. We're looking at these hierarchies that support human development. And Michael, the spiritual being, looks at this real deep transformation of will, that through our working with the hierarchies, we can transform ourselves. And this ability to bring such a transformation is an activity where we feel that we need to somewhat change how we have been, change the fixed patterns, the fixed ways of being, so that we can live in a new and renewed way with the spiritual world. And yet, at the same time, the virtue practice in this same month is contentment. And these two aspects, this deep transformative process and contentment, may appear as contradictions. And I want to speak a little bit about that so that we can meet this quality of contentment in a way where it is not contradicting the realities of transformation. I want to start with a poem from St. Teresa of Avila. It's called The Servant of Unity. Most men in power have not the strength or wisdom to be satisfied with the way things are. The sane know contentment, for beauty is their lover, and beauty is never absent from this world. The further away light is from one's touch, the more one naturally speaks of the need for change. Yes, overthrow any government inside that makes you weep. The child blames the external and focuses his energies there. The warrior conquers the realms within and becomes gifted. Only the inspired should make decisions that affect the lives of many. Never a man who has not held God in his arms and become a servant of unity. Well, in this poem we have both these activities so aware. She talks of the warrior that conquers realms within and becomes gifted, and at the same time, only the sane know contentment, for beauty is their lover. And so we recognize somehow that we are working in this realm of unity where so-called polarizing forces are not to bring an agitation. How do you do inner work, the work of great self-transformation and change, in a way that doesn't take away from the contentment of the unfolding present moment? How do we seek new and renewal and at the same time be deeply satisfied with the unfolding life that surrounds us? And in a way, this contentment that leads to self-composure gives this quality or this recognition that it is possible. that we can be composed in the midst of a recognition that there is a need for change. We can be content with how things are and yet still working towards what is possible. And this journey, in a way, this polarity of being, is what allows us to manage the intensity of both the outer life and the inner life. How can we rest in the depth of contentment with how things are? A steep kind of acceptance in the cellular level of your being, and at the same time wake up every day and with the effort to the new and to the renew. It's like the sun. It's there, present, and yet new and renewed every day. To be in the presence is actually to also be in the new, to be in the becoming. To be in the contentment of now is what is the forward motion to the transformation. And so the practice, in a way, is to work inwardly with contentment, but allow it to resound outwardly into your daily life. Perhaps it's in something that you do every day, or it could be in the way of which you approach the day. Not to approach it as though I have to do something, but rather approach it from an inner place of contentment, an inner place of self-composure. And in that, to meet the events of the day without this agitation for change, but contentment that is revealing the next level of being, the next way of working. To be fully content with how things are, and at the same time, in that contentment, to be drawn like the flower is towards the sun that's opening, not to get something, but out of this response to the sun, the flower opens. Out of the response to the day, the contentment moves to meet the new. So in this state, in this willing state of contentment, we meet the new, not with agitation, not with grasping, not with wanting, not with desire, but with an unfolding of our being towards what wants to come into existence. And this is something that the work with the hierarchies, with Michael, actually calls for. We can't have a state of agitation or desire or longing or grasping for something of the spirit. The very nature of that, these spiritual forces recoil. But it is really a opening, a vulnerability, a willingness to be moved by the spirit. So to be content with the stage we're at, and yet to be willing, fully willing to be moved by the spiritual world. And when we've done that practice, in our daily practice, we remember to allow those forces to flow down past the head into the chest, and into the heart.
The worlds are sustaining worlds, and being perceives itself within being. Existence bounds itself with existence, and being stirs and causes being to pour out deeds that unfold, to rest in world enjoyment. O worlds, uphold the worlds. And maintaining your attentiveness, your soft concentration, you can practice experiencing a streaming from above the head as though a ray of the sun were streaming down through the head to the heart. And staying with that as your focus, that light and streaming can continue.
Libra. Libra, this month's constellation and virtue practice with eurythmy is contentment is our virtue, and it's leading us towards a very deep self-composure. And you may also know that Libra will bring about a balance, or it's trying to bring the balance in as well. So last month we had Virgo, and it was very inward, if you remember. It had that lovely rounding form and all the warmth, and it was to do with this inner part, the abdomen. And now with this month, we're coming out a little bit. There's a bit of levity there. There's a red colour coming to meet that blue, which brings us this violet colour. And the formative force is for the hips and the pelvic area. So it has this balance or this levity that we need to find within this gesture. Now, to help us into this gesture of eurythmy this month, we bring this zodiac gesture of Libra, and the colour being violet helps us just to find our way in a little more easily, so that it's not just moving the arms in a particular way, but we've got an inner move, an inner movement, an inner mood taking place as well. So we're working inwardly as well as this. And of course, as you always remember, this is eurythmy. It's a sacred art form, and it does connect us to the spiritual world and raise in health-giving forces. So let me tell you a little bit more about the colour first. So this colour of violet, Rudolf Steiner said that it helps us, we learn to strive towards the spiritual with this colour of violet. And we also learn to pray. So learning to pray is something that arises with this colour, violet. The other thing that you could do is go out in the evening, find a space where you can look out on the horizon and see the sunset. And as the sun has set and the colours are starting to fade, this colour of violet starts to rise and it comes across the land. The whole world becomes this stillness and quietness. And you may have experienced this quietness watching a sunset when it gets to that moment when the birds have stopped singing, they've stopped saying goodnight, they've gone to their nests. And there's this lovely stillness and peacefulness that comes about. So if I pick up my veil here and just hold it for a moment in front of my face, it's almost as if there's this veil between me and the spiritual world, and it's this colour. And so I'm just going to come down now to in front of the screen and pop this colour across for you to have a look at. And now, maybe even if I double it, you can see that there's this beautiful quality of violet that comes. So in our gesture today, I would like you to remember that this is about balance as well, and that it's our hips that's holding us here in this equilibrium state, and that we have the left side, the right side. We have above and we have below, and they're all going to meet in the middle. So left and right moving at the same time, and then one comes from above and one from below. And here we are in this gesture of Libra. And then we can release. And again, you will feel in that moment, maybe already a contentment or a self-composure. Let's try it again. So left, right, one is slightly above, one slightly below, and they meet. And releasing. And again, from left and right, above and below, and gently meeting there, really on the horizon. And it is in that sunset where the violet rises up. It has this levity to it as well. Now, just before we go on to the next part, I just wanted to say about the colours that we've worked with so far. So each month, for those who haven't been here, each month we have gone from Aries on this side, on the right, and then we've gone to Taurus, which is the orange, so Aries the red, Taurus the orange, yellow with Gemini, green with Cancer, blue, beautiful sky blue with Leo, indigo with Virgo, and now into the violet. And I think you can probably get this picture that we've gone all the way over in a bow, and it is the rainbow colours. So this is the last one of the day colours. So next month when we work together, we will enter into the night colours. So let's have another little practice. So turn your screens away, or don't look at your screen for a moment, and see if you can find your way into this Libra gesture together. And I'll do it 3 times, but I'll just speak at once. And then you just take your time and see if you can find an inner mood. See if you can imagine this beautiful violet colour all around you. So, Libra, contentment, leading towards a very deep self-composure. So let's start our practice together. So we've got 3 times the ERO, 3 times the Libra, and then I will speak about the streaming for us to enter into that mystery center of our heart. So if you've not been to this site before, you probably need to go back to the beginning of Astral Arc, to the introduction of eurythmy. So let's try this together. Libra, streaming from the cosmos, down through the top of the head, past the forehead, down to the throat area, the larynx, and moving down now to the heart. And there in this mystery center of the heart, contemplate contentment.
I am the one who shines through you.